Welcome to the Toy Train Operating Society Ambassador Club review of the LIonel LIonChief Plus transformer controlled and Bluetooth Western Pacific GP7 number 707. This locomotive obviously has the remote control, rail sounds, smoke. Part number is 6-84111. So, on the Jefferson Railroad today, my layout is primarily fast track and legacy control, but I do like to run other control systems, and I especially like the LIonel LIonChief Plus and LIonChief systems. They're good to get young people and old people alike acquainted with the systems without having a big legacy remote that if it gets dropped, it could get messed up. So this LIonChief locomotive obviously can be transformer controlled, remote controlled, or my favorite is the Bluetooth app. So as you see, it's got operating couplers, it's got metal handrails, it's very much a post-war style locomotive with some enhanced features. So I'm going to power up the track, and by the way, just for those who are ever doing videos, you know, Cab 1 controllers, as you can see, make great pointers too. Just a little useful tip. Alright, so we're going to power up the track. And as you can see, instead of the previous noise, the newer ones make a chirping noise. Now I can talk to it with its own dedicated remote, as you can see. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. And of course it's got horns, the hold to shift and front coupler, bell, and announcements. Very bright lights. Now, we're going to turn this remote off. And it'll take a minute for it to find out that it's not talking to anything. And it's going to say, hey, where's my signal? Because it's set up to look for a remote. There is a switch underneath where you can switch it to go to strictly transformer control. Nice thing about the LIonChief Plus is they do have speed control. So now if I turn on the universal remote, and I hit this one I have saved under number 3, now I've got the same thing. And I usually take the universal remotes to the shows only because with having the universal remote, if this gets lost, I can replace it pretty easily. So the nice thing is that it works very well with the universal remote. Obviously this is the updated version of 1.1. But let's turn this off. And you say, well, why am I turning this off? Well, because my favorite app is on my phone. And as you can see here, a little iPhone SE. I have my train controls here, LIonChief app, and it sees the engine. If you're wondering what engines to connect to, there's your choices. You can tell it to unconnect. You can tell it to talk to that locomotive again. Horn function, bell function, couplers, announcements. Okay. In the selection setting in the window, you've got your speed limit, where you can lower the speed limit of the locomotive. So if you hand this remote to somebody, then they can't hopefully do warp speed on it. Turn your smoke on and off. There's off. There's on. Low, medium, and high for your momentums. Okay? X, you exit out. Very simple. And this on the right hand is your throttle. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. And we're going to bring this engine up and around. Let's point out some of the other things on this engine. Stop it here for a moment. Now, in this video, I will insert a picture because when I first saw the paint color, I was like, oh my gosh, that is an awful bright Western Pacific color. Guess what, folks? The Western Pacific, they painted whatever was close to silver or what they had in the bucket, and I've got photos, and I'll throw one in this video, probably somewhere around here before. that shows the realistic pairing of what I've got paired up to a dummy legacy engine behind it. So you're going to notice some detailed differences. Obviously, the dummy legacy engine is from quite a few years ago, but I thought it was an interesting pairing. Plus, I wanted to demonstrate the pulling power of this twin motor, fully geared locomotive with traction tires. It does race speed control. I've got a section or two in the layout where some of my Jeeps don't like going through certain switches, and this has yet to give me that same kind of burp or iteration. I've run it for quite a bit just to make sure that everything looked good and was you know, just dead on, and it does a great job. So as I bring it up, I'm going to do a better side view of it. You'll notice it's got the metal trucks. There have been some criticisms about some of the detailing on it, and frankly, in a post-war style locomotive for all the features that you get, I've really taken a liking to this. There are some details that people have mentioned, and honestly, if you're a scale modeler, you may not like the metal handrails and such. You may prefer the legacy. However, for somebody that needs a locomotive that they can run day in and day out, do switching, run it all over, pull anything, it is a gem of a little locomotive. So let me get some runtime on it around the layout, and you decide for yourself. So let's bring this gal up. I'm going to hit the horn. Up a little bit, but this is not being assisted by any other engine. This consist is being pulled by that single Jeep. By the way, the smoke output is amazing. Down a little bit here. You can get a good look at the details. Cab light goes off when the train is in motion. As you can see, the smoke output is amazing. We'll bring this to a stop. Turn on the bell. We'll go reverse. If you notice the LIonChief remote, when it's reverse, it says reverse. That's forward, there's reverse. And then of course the reverse light lights up. Back this guy up a little bit. Change the direction. Cab light is on because we're at a full stop. The smoke unit obviously lowers the output since it's still. Otherwise, we can go forward. And for those of you who think that the bell's annoying, I turned it off. Obviously, there's some comparisons there. You can see a little bit different color. But I'm telling you, I looked at photos, and it is accurate. So, once again, I believe that if you look hard enough, you can find anything that's prototypical if you just look long enough for the photograph. I've certainly learned that when I started asking why. And of course, that doesn't happen all the time, but you know, one reason I like the Western Pacific Railroad is because they really did a heck of a job. Now, a couple other features I want to point out when you fill smoke. This unit comes off, and this is obviously the bolster and heat thing. Some people, I don't know if you like or do not like this. I like it because it allows a very easy fill of the smoke units, blow a hole, and then you just pop it back on, and you're good to go. So, all in all, I think it's a really neat locomotive. The Bluetooth right here, that's the bomb. I mean, you can take essentially any iPad, Android, iPhone, within, obviously, that still works with the system, and run it. So I've tried it on an Android device. Make sure you do the current Android build upload, otherwise the speed doesn't respond. So that was corrected. This is an older iPhone. It'll run on the new phones, old phones, and so forth. So for that, I think that LIonel has a winner here. And if you're looking for something that's midpoint to add to your consist, I would strongly recommend getting this little guy or the equivalent. Again, I like Jeeps, and I happen to admire the Western Pacific Railroad because they did so much with so little. So once again, this is a TTOS Southern Pacific Division Ambassador Club review of the Western Pacific LIonChief Plus GP7 number 707, part number 6-84111. And we've been running it on the Jefferson Railroad. And I want to thank everybody for your time and attention. And any feedback is greatly appreciated. Have a great day.